Today on an all-new Dr. Phil, the boomerang generation.
You raise them, they go off to college, and then they come back.
Grown kids who move back home.
Are they moochers in training?
I've never paid rent or bills.
Our parents enjoy having us around.
We just can't get rid of them.
Now, they're in for the shock of their lives.
This is your house. What we have here is a moving van.
And what these fans tried to mooch from Dr. Phil.
Coming up. Let's do it. I want you to get excited about your life.
Here we go.
Stand by, kicker 6.
If you're going to talk to me, you're going to have to be honest.
Stand by, Dr. Phil.
Showtime. This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Stand by A and roll A. Check in. Go, Dr. Phil.
You're going to know what I'm talking about. They're called the boomerang generation. You raise them, they go off to college, and then they come back. Okay? Are they in transition or are they moochers in training? Now, we're going to talk to some parents who say they want their children O-U-T out. But first, is there a little mooch in everybody? Now, we tried an experiment today that involved all of you. Okay? Take a look. We set up a table backstage for our audience to take a freebie. Now, the sign says, please just take one. Now, let's see how this audience does with the temptation of taking more than one. Okay, most people obey the sign, but let's see let's just see who took liberties, shall we call it, and helped themselves to more than one giveaway. Oh, there go 2 books. If 1 is good, 2 must be better. 3. Now, that's just not fair. Remember, the sign says just take 1. So, what do these audience members have to say for themselves? Now, that would be Esther, right? So would we just be safe to say that you just really like me, right?
Yes, I do.
So you took more than one thing.
2 subjects.
Oh, 2 different subjects. So just 1 per subject. Okay. All right. And Patty? Yes. Let's see. You took 2 books and a video, right? Yeah. So why do you need 2 books if you can't read? Because if you could read, it just said 1, right?
I thought you meant one of each.
And Heather, you have a shirt because you needed something to wear while you read the book, right? I mean, when we see something that says free, don't we all kind of do that? We just decide, it's okay. I mean, y'all didn't do anything that anybody else doesn't do time to time. We just caught you. So, and I'm flattered, actually, so don't. What the rest of you think? You just took 1 thing? What's up? No. All right, now, Cher and her husband say it's bad enough having 1 freeloading child, but multiply that times 3, and there's going to be some serious trouble. Now, there's 13, count them, 13 people living under 1 roof. Wow. Take a look.
Welcome to our home, Dr. Phil. We have a house full of moochers.
We have 3 grown-up kids, and we just can't seem to get rid of them. They just mooch off of us for everything.
Cook me my food.
Jay, Tabitha, and Star are selfish, immature, and lacking life skills. I brought a loaf of bread in.
We have 4 small children, but when our adult children decide they need help, they feel free to come home, taking away from our ability to support ourselves.
I am at my wit's end.
Come back here.
We have 13 people living in a small trailer, and that is financially stressful for me and my husband.
Our parents enjoy having us around.
They just piled their stuff on the lawn.
This is not the first time I've had to rely on my parents for help. I've never paid rent or contributed paying the bills.
My 30-year-old son, Che, has lived with us off and on for about a year now. He will come in during the day, eat as much as he can, and never offers to buy groceries.
I absolutely go through the refrigerator at my parents' house. There's a lot of good things in there.
Shade was sleeping on our couch. He was sleeping in our children's bedroom. Because there wasn't enough room in the house, he pitched a tent in the backyard and slept outside.
Che has never paid for his room or board, even when he was making very good money.
I cling to my parents, but I don't think of myself as a moocher. Clinging is not the same thing as mooching.
Yeah, I'm tired of being a moocher.
I'm right on it.
When my 24-year-old daughter Tabitha moved back home with her husband and 2 kids, I said, oh boy, we're already crowded, but they have to have a place to live.
Do you want to help me clean up the restrooms?
My chores look pretty.
A lot of times when I ask Tabitha to help clean around the house, she'll flat out say no.
I don't even know if everyone knows that the chore list is on the fridge.
No, I knew it was on the fridge, I just never read it.
I complain because there are a lot of other people that live in this house and no one else is doing anything.
Tabitha will only agree to watch the children if we pay her or make it worth her while in some other way.
I feel that they should pay me to babysit the little kids sometimes.
We're paying for their heat, their electric, their showers, their laundry. It's amazing to me that she just doesn't pitch in.
Why do I have you again?
At least I'm not the one sitting around playing video games all day like my older brother.
My daughter Star has also moved back with us recently. This time, she brought her new husband Gus with her.
I really don't think that right now I'm mooching off my parents. I expect my parents to help us out because I know that they love us.
I told Star no cats allowed, but they ended up here as well. It feels weird having people sleep in my living room and not pitching in
I do chores when I want to.
and trying to maintain the cleanliness of the house.
When's the last time you vacuumed?
If I'm expected to do too many chores, I get very depressed and I'll just sit there. I would say that I'm a spoiled brat.
Our landlord came to us and started eviction process. So we are struggling because of them.
Dr. Phil, this is totally out of control. How can we get our mooching kids out of our house once and for all without feeling guilty?
Okay, now, I've got some questions for you guys, but now this is Sharon Byron, you're the parents, yes. And I'm going to get to you guys in a minute, in a really big way, okay? But what's up with you guys? You said that you think they owe it to you to take care of you?
Well, I think as parents, they can't really not take care of us if we need it.
Really? Now, you're 21, 24, and 30, and you're all intermittently living with, living on, eating from, dealing with your parents. What do you think about it?
I disagree. Like, it's not that we're just eating their food. I help pay for food there. And I do babysit for them without always being paid for it. You know, they never take care of my kids either, so whatever.
Okay, where do you live?
At their house. It's not like you're making it out to be.
Well, straighten it out, because I want to know. Because what we want to do is deal with what's really going on. So how are they making it out to be wrong? Any of y'all?
It's not really being made out to be wrong at all. I mean, some of the stuff that was said in there is probably a little bit hurtful. I mean, a lot of it's true. I mean, we have come back, all of us kids. Most of us kids have come back at one point or another and have lived with our parents.
Okay, you have 13 people living in or around one very small dwelling to the point that you're getting evicted, right? They've come to you and said what, Byron? What have they said?
Basically said that we had 3 days to get them out.
But do y'all think you should live somewhere else?
Yeah, I totally want to be somewhere else.
I don't think any of us want to live at home.
You don't want to live at home?
No.
But yet you do.
I've lived at that house for 2.5 weeks.
Okay, which is your third time to move back in since you were 18.
Right. The biggest problem is we keep coming back. We have trouble staying on our feet. Like, we don't want to be there, but we don't know how to stay on our feet.
Tabitha, you can straighten us out on this because you think this is mischaracterized by what your parents are saying. You don't want to be there, but yet you believe that they owe it to you to provide you food and housing, I assume, at least until you're 30.
Well,
I mean, based on results.
They gave us guidelines. They said, you know, that we had to have jobs and we had to help around the house and stuff.
They gave you guidelines like no pets?
Well, my dad said I couldn't have pets, but my mom said I could. And so...
Okay. So the plot thickens. Now, but since you're there, do you consider yourself a guest in their home?
No, I'm not a guest. I'm part of the family.
So do you help out?
I haven't lately.
Because
I did in the beginning.
Because what you've said, and this is a direct quote from you, that you get depressed when you have to do chores.
I get very depressed if I have to do chores.
I mean, come on. Does that really work?
What?
You say it depresses me to have to do this, and so they don't do it?
No, I don't say that to them.
You said it to us.
Yeah, well, because you guys asked how I felt when I needed to do chores, and I go, I get depressed.
You also said, if I cry, I can get anything.
Yeah, when I was a kid, if I cried, I could get anything I wanted. And now I'm an adult, and I cry, and I get anything.
Okay, yeah, this is way out of context. Byron and Cher say they'll do whatever I want them to do to get their 3 kids out of the house. Now, we're going to see if they'll keep their word when we come back.
The definition of a moocher is someone that takes and takes and takes and doesn't give back. Right now, I feel like I'm self-sufficient.
Rather than contributing to the bills, we're just trying to save money for our own place.
My parents are absolutely notorious for letting people take advantage of them and their generosity.
Okay, we're talking about a new generation of moochers, boomerangers. Now, these are kids that move in and out with mom and dad, not just once or twice, but for as long as it takes them to get their lives together. Now, Byron says it was just Cher and their 4 little ones when they first moved into their home. But now they're about to be evicted because some of their adult children, along with their families and their pets, have moved in once again. Now, do you think your sister's lazy?
No, I think she gets away with a lot. Absolutely. I think she gets away with it. She should have to get up and do stuff, but she doesn't because no one makes her.
Okay, and you say that you think your behavior's a problem because it's ordained in the Bible.
I said that there is a correlation between the child and the parent. It's in the Bible, yes. And if I've never been married, so I definitely have a bond with my parents still. Till I have a wife, I still have a bond with them.
So what you're talking about is...
I want to clear one thing up, though. I do not live with my parents right now.
No, you just go over there to eat every day.
No.
Because you said you go in and raid the refrigerator and eat whatever's there.
Sometimes I do, not very often.
And what you're talking about in the Bible is where it says in Ephesians that you're to honor your mother and father and that you will leave your mother and father and cleave unto your wife.
That's correct.
And so you're saying until it's cleaving time, that it's staying time. Okay, you might be confusing cleaving and leaving.
Cleaving and leaving.
Here. Okay? And you think that this is okay to be there?
No.
Why did you go back?
Because we lost our house and we didn't have anywhere else to go.
Okay, what would you do if your parents just like lived in a 1-room studio apartment? This could be a good idea.
I'd live someplace else.
You got it.
Okay. And you think that your basic chore is what?
I'm supposed to clean the living room. That's my chore. So.
Do you do that?
Yes, I do. Not every day, but I do it.
Yeah. But y'all don't much like this chore chart that your mom made up.
I didn't even read it until they pointed it out.
Hey, I would like to make a point, though. My dad also said he hadn't even read it, and his name's on there, too.
Whose house is it?
It's their house, but all of our names are on it, and she was complaining about us not reading the chore chart, but he hadn't even read it.
Do you
Aren't
think
you supposed to set an example, so... I'm not trying to be snotty, isn't that true?
Wait, no, you're not trying to be snotty. At break, you stuck your tongue out at him.
I was teasing.
I know, but that's not something that 24-year-old people usually do. I don't know. Now, you have 4 little ones at home that are entitled to be there.
Right.
And this is negatively impacting them, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
Like, you aren't big on working, right?
No, I work a lot.
But you've made money before. You know how to go out and make money.
Yep.
But you don't distribute that into this family a whole lot.
That's not completely true, no.
All right, what is completely true? How's your Xbox game?
You know, I don't have an Xbox. My little brother's.
Yeah, it's your little brother. So you go in his room and play Xbox, and he's got to leave and sleep on the couch.
No.
That has happened one time.
Have y'all met each other?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. I mean, what I'm trying to do is we're trying to figure out a solution here. Are your parents bad about lying, or they just see things differently?
They see things differently than we do.
All right, next, I've got a plan to help get these 3 out of the house. We're talking to 3 adult children who are still living with their parents. Now, you guys said you would do anything that I wanted you to do.
Right.
To help solve this problem.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, then here's what we want to do. Can I have the satellite feed up? This is your house, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. That's live, by the way. That's right now.
Oh, my.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because this is a satellite uplink from your house. Okay, and this is where 13 people are either living or occupying every day, to the point that the landlord said, Yeah. Now, you're not going to wear this place out. You're going to have to get them out of here or get gone. Okay, now, can you hear me on the satellite feed? All right, can you pan over to one side?
Oh, my.
What we have here... What we have here, hi guys, what we have here is a moving van, okay, and these are movers. Now, they are prepared to go in and load up all of the adult children's belongings, and thanks to the folks at Peak Property Management, Star, Che, and Tabitha, along with their spouses, kids, pets, have the opportunity to move and live in a 3-bedroom home with the rent paid for 30 days to give them an opportunity to really make a transition. Now, I can't tell these guys to do this. I mean, that's up to y'all if you want to do it. And to put these guys on the street, I think is a wrong thing to do, because you've basically enabled them. You've basically set them up for this. Okay, so to then just say, pull the rug out from under them and say, okay, you got to go, is not a good plan. So that's why we have arranged for them a house that's actually bigger than the one you're in, for them to live in for a period of time to make a plan, and maybe they can co-op and live there together. But that's up to y'all. So what do you want to do?
Well, I think if they have a place to live where they're safe, they have a roof over their head, that, you know, I think they should take advantage of it.
What do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about this?
I think it's a wonderful idea, and I think it'll help my parents a lot.
I think if they don't want us around anymore, they certainly did. We went to drastic measures.
Okay, you know? What do you think?
Sure, whatever.
You don't like the idea. You don't want to live on your own, in your
No,
own house.
I want to live on my own in my own house. I don't want to live with Che and Star. I want my own house.
It's up to you guys. I've got Lux Transfer and Storage there, but you've got to decide. And if you're just going to turn around and move them back in 30 days, then don't even bother to do it. I'll just send these guys home. Cher, what do you say?
I say if they have a place to go, let them go. This is a transition out. I think they can make it on their own from there.
You think they can make it out? All right. All right, so it's your house, so you need to tell the movers to start moving.
You movers, if you know what's theirs, load it up.
Okay. Now, we're gonna check in later to see how the movers are doing and to make sure they get everything moved to their new temporary home. But up next, the parents say they don't know if they can resist taking their children back. So I'm going to talk about why we need to do this and what needs to happen when we come back.
I'm afraid that my kids will end up hating me if I kick them out of the house.
We want to help our children overcome obstacles and barriers in their life, but we just don't want them to be living with us forever. I would like to see Che, Tabitha, and Star step up to the plate and help us.
We've been talking about a new phenomenon, boomeranging. They move back home time and time again, expecting mom and dad to pay their bills until they get their lives together. Now, Byron and Cher want their children to move out once and for all because they keep coming back. Now, before the show, they didn't have the heart to do it. But I think they're feeling better about that because there's an alternative. There's a place to go. So we'll take a look and see how the movers are doing. Here we go. Bring it out. Gotcha. All right. We'll keep track of those guys. Now, Mom and Dad, tell me why you think you've got a situation where 13 people are just intensely involved in this small area.
My viewpoint, I think we always have offered unconditional love to our children. We're a tight family. We care about what happens to each other.
Okay, Cher, why do you think they're this way?
Ever since we've been married, we've taken in foster kids. We've taken in people that haven't had anywhere to go, and they've seen it. So when they got older, you know, I guess we enabled them, just like you said. We allowed them anytime they needed a place to come in.
Okay, and every one of you have said you know that they won't say no. True?
Yeah, that's
Very
true.
true.
Okay. Do you really think that's helping them?
Probably not. In the long run, it's not.
But you see, necessity is the mother of invention. And if they don't have to, then they don't. You've all said, why do you do it? Because it's comfortable.
I would agree with you on that because I was given until the 15th of last month to move out, and since then I've been better suited. I've been happier. I haven't been relying on my family. Well, there's two kinds of needs that I have. One are emotional needs and one are physical needs. They took care of both for me, and so why would I want to leave if they made me feel comfortable?
Yeah. Do you hear what he's saying?
Yeah.
I mean, and you've got to understand, your job, when we talk about loving our children, loving them means preparing them. And what you're doing, if you allow them to not require more of themselves, then they don't require more of themselves, so they're not progressing.
Well, I have in Tabitha's situation, ask her what she would have done had she not moved into our home when they lost their house.
What would you have done if you hadn't moved into their home?
I don't know.
She doesn't know.
Well, that's what
I mean,
I'm saying.
is your point that she had nowhere else to go?
Yeah.
Then, my point is, if you had started preparing her for self-sufficiency, higher self-esteem, and more motivation 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, then she wouldn't have been in that situation today. And if you don't start it today, she'll be in the same situation 5 years from now. That's all I'm saying. And does that mean that you don't support her and help her? Does it mean just kick them out to the curb and say good luck and throw our phone number away? No, of course not. But I would change the locks on the house. I mean, I would get them I would get them somewhere else, and I would help them get jobs. I would do everything I could to help them get up and running and self-sufficient, because won't you guys feel so much better when you are totally self-sufficient and running your own life? You don't like living with 11 or 12 other people, do you, Tabitha?
No.
But don't misinterpret help as enablement. That's not help. That's absolutely not help, okay?
Okay.
All right? All right. And in the meantime, be appreciative of your parents. I mean, don't go backstage and say, what a couple of jerks. I mean, they've been feeding you, clothing you, housing you, and now they're helping you get on your own 2 feet. All right, coming up, a 36-year-old woman who's still living with her parents. And she says that she just can't stop. We'll be back.
All of my life, I've been a freeloader. I'm still living at home, mooching off my parents in Hicksville, Missouri.
I don't think I should have to foot the bill for a 36-year-old daughter.
We all know being a parent is not easy, but today's guests say it's even harder when their adult children keep moving back home, ask for money every time they find themselves in a financial bind, needing help, needing support. Now, Kirsten says for the last 18 years, she's needed her family to take care of her. And all these years, she's had a hard time figuring out why.
What are you spending your money on?
I don't know. Gas,
Yes?
paying you back. I am a 36-year-old, intelligent college graduate, but I'm still living at home, mooching off my parents in Hicksville, Missouri.
She moved back home a year ago. We told her that the rent would be $100 per month.
$100 isn't even enough to cover the actual expenses.
I am currently working as a waitress. I'm making about $200 a week. That's poverty level.
She's not contributing. The rent hasn't been paid.
Did she give you any money tonight when she came home?
No, she said she didn't make enough.
We buy all the groceries. We pay the utility bills.
Maybe there's something else out there you can find.
Hope so.
Her mooching is just dragging me down.
All of my life, I've been a freeloader. I expect to get my way and be taken care of.
So this stuff I bought for us, so don't be taking any of it.
Okay. I have to mooch off my parents to survive. I owe $40,000 in student loans.
I've loaned my sister money for car payments and to fix the clutch on her car. I don't have any more money to give her, so now she's asking my sister Jill.
I get tired of loaning Kirsten money and never seeing a red cent of it back. She needs a big kick in the rear.
Totally, this is what she owes me.
Here she comes again.
What are you two doing? My mom and my sisters all have checks that I have written that I told them to please hold until it was okay to cash them. You gotta wait till tomorrow afternoon to put it in, so I make sure my...
We'll be good tomorrow.
Yeah. My mom has a check dating back to sometime in 1990. I really don't want to stay here anymore, so I'm going to move out.
Kirsten's been saying for months that she's moving out, but I'm not buying it.
If Kirsten moves out, she'll be either calling back for more money or coming back. Is that I'm afraid that when she gets her first Social Security check, it's going to have the same address as mine.
Sure wish luck would change for me, though, one of these days. Dr. Phil, can you show me how to use my brain, get a real job, and stop mooching off of others?
Okay, why do you think you do this?
Honestly, I don't know. It's just been such a habit for the last 18 years. I don't know.
Okay, so what you're saying is you have a mindset that just doesn't go anywhere else. It's just part of your world that I just live with my parents. Do you have trouble seeing yourself off by yourself, living by yourself, taking care of yourself, doing what you do?
No, actually, I've only been with my parents for the last 11 months.
Right.
It's just ever since I've gone to college, I've never been able to catch up. So I'm always borrowing money. I just can't.
Yeah, in all of this time, it's always been relying on them or your sisters, somebody to help you make ends meet. Do you have trouble telling yourself no? I mean, living beyond your means?
I don't think I necessarily live beyond my means. I just can't find the right job.
Okay, let's get, because I just can't seem to get definitions right with some of these folks. Are you spending more money than you're making?
Yes, because I have too many bills. So yeah.
Would that be living beyond your means?
Well, I guess so, but I'm not like a shopaholic or anything. I mean...
Okay, but you make this much, and you spend this much.
Trying to catch up, yeah.
Yeah, and this part would be beyond your means, which are this part.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm trying to figure out, because you gotta analyze the problem, is what I'm saying. What do you guys think, Mom and Dad? What's your take on this?
She just can't seem to make enough money to take care of what she needs. For example, when she moves away from home, she never makes enough to pay her rent or her car payments or her insurance on her car, or I guess that's three important things. You know, she's just doesn't make enough to make those payments.
Yeah, so do you make yours?
Yes, barely,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, because you got some drains. Do you all pay your way and pay your bills and all that? Okay, now Kirsten says she wants to get to the root of her problem once and for all. And I think I have a real clear view of this and a real clear view of what the solution is. And I'm going to talk about that when we come back.
I know that I can be more than what I am, but it's just hard. I'm so far behind now that I don't think that it's ever going to end.
Now, Kirsten is 36 and has a great education, but she says that she's living with her parents, can't seem to make ends meet, and she claims she's going to move out of her parents' guest house because they treat her like a child. Now, her entire family says whether she moves out or not, she'll still expect them to take care of her. Do you agree that even if you move out, that you're in this pattern of where you'll just keep circling around and having to be bailed out or taken care of financially?
I've been doing this bartending and waiting tables for so long, you can't budget. You know, you don't know how much you're going to make in a week. And if I find a good job, I think if I knew how much I was going to be making every week and could have a budget, that's what I lack. I lack a budget. I lack, you know, managing my money.
Okay, but you've turned down jobs because you just didn't like the location, right?
There are certain places that I don't think that I'd like to live in.
Okay, and see, this is this thing that just keeps coming back, and it's just really inconvenient. It's called reality, and you know, sometimes, no, really, I'm serious about this. And here's what. Let me tell you what I think about this. I think that problems often start for one reason, and then continue on for another reason. Okay. Now, when you were young, you had health problems, correct? You had to wear a brace, and it created social problems for you because that's when a kid is having to do that, it sets you apart in some different ways. And so you had to have extra care and extra nurturance at times. True? Absolutely not your fault. 100%, no question, no but, not your fault. That's a challenge that you had to deal with. And along with that, you two were very protective and very forgiving and spoiled her really excessively, right?
Yes, we
Do you
did.
agree with that? And you said that you're spoiled, that you were spoiled at that time.
I was, yeah.
But what happens is at a time when kids would normally be learning that when you choose the behavior, you choose the consequences, you weren't really held accountable for a lot of things, even in the teen times, correct? Because you really lived those teen years, right? You had a good time during those teen years.
Yeah.
And you had a certain wild streak, and you got away with a lot, right?
Yeah.
Because you were spoiled. And so once again, you learned later in life that when you choose the behavior, you don't deal with the consequences. There's no accountability, which is why you say some things like, well, no, I'm not living beyond my means. And, well, yeah, there was some job opportunities, but I didn't really want to live there. People that are used to being hungry. They don't afford themselves those luxuries. And what I think has happened here is I think because of some unavoidable situations and circumstances, you A, picked up some bad habits because of the spoiling, and B, failed to get some certain mindsets, some certain skill sets in terms of thinking that have kept you from connecting that last dot. And because you've worked hard, you've gone to college, you did well. Well, you flunked out, but then you went back and did well. And, right?
Exactly.
And you got the degree. I do my homework. I know the history. And now I think you've got some things that started way, way back that you don't know that are undermining you at this point because all you know is what you know. And I think what we need to do here is work the problem. You know, work the problem. Not just complain about it, but work the problem. I think that you're obviously very intelligent. You have an excellent degree from an excellent university. You want the right kind of job, but I think you're getting in your own way. And so I think what you need is a plan. You need a program here. You need some vocational counseling. You experience anxiety when you start getting close to independence because you've never had to be fully accountable. And I think that needs to be dealt with. And then I think you need a structured plan to get on your feet. And when you do, I think you will grab on with both hands and never look back. But I think you need some vocational counseling. I think you need some psychological counseling to replace some of these things that didn't get in there at the right time. And then you need to create that job opportunity, which we can help with the vocational counseling as well. And once I think you get there with that skill set, I think you're going to be an absolute star. I absolutely believe that. But I think you need this plan because you don't know what you don't know. I don't think you mean to be that way, but I think you need some pieces of the puzzle snapped in together. And then I think that you will have a very different experience of life. What do you think?
I think you're right. I just don't know how to tap into that. That's been a struggle.
Well, I do know how to tap into that. So if we put that all into play for you, with the vocational counseling, the psychological counseling, the career, all of the things that you need to get where you're going. Will you participate in that program? Mm-hmm. Will you guys support that?
Yes.
I mean, because as you get older, and I know as parents, as I get older, I keep looking to see if something happens to me, will my kids be okay? Do they have what it takes to walk on their own and do well? And wouldn't you have a great sense of peace if you knew that she had closed that gap and could take care of herself?
Yes, I would.
All right?
Very much.
I have a plan. We'll be right back. We're going to put some things together for you with some top-level professionals. All right, for advice on how to deal with your children that you just don't seem to be able to get out the door and keep out the door, and I'm talking about adult children, not your 6-year-olds, you can go to drphil.com, and we're going to have steps there on how to get kids to have the financial planning, the vocational planning, all the things that they need to really stand on their own in a safe and healthy way. It's not fair to enable them for a long, long time and then all of a sudden just put them out on the street. You own the problem as well. There's got to be a plan. There's got to be a transition. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.